Hi and welcome to this video in which we're going to look at importing a project into the QPSMR Companion, and we're going to use two examples. One is importing from SSS and one is importing from SPSS. Now I'd always advise using SSS because it's a much sounder interchange format. It's used and supported by about 70 different software packages around the world and is a very convenient way for moving all the data and all the text from one project to another. So when you're going to import a project from SSS, you would expect to have an ASCII data file and an XML file, and these two files contain the data in the case of the ASCII file and all the texts and the titles that will be used in the questionnaire to describe the questionnaire. So we're going to go to the QPSMR Companion and we're going to import a project here. So we go to the File menu. We first of all load a SSS XML file. You'll see there's an option below to treat 0 as a reject category. That's an option that specifically identifies anybody coding with 0 as being a reject to a particular question. But we're going to take the normal option here, and we're going to quickly go and find the project that we want to import, and we're going to open up that project data exported, which has come from another piece of software. Click OK, and we should have imported this project and the data ready for checking. And now if I save it, it's going to ask for a name. We'll call it imported from SSS, and we should be ready to use that project now so that we can go into analysis. We could do a data drill down, and we could probably just check that everything's exactly as we expected from the exported file. So if we ran perhaps a table of question 5 by region, we could perhaps check that against some data to make sure that we're getting the right figures coming in from the exported data into SSS. So that's looking at exporting a project from into SSS and then importing it into the QPSMR Companion. The other way that you can get data in would be through SPSS. That's another common way of bringing in data. Now, if you're going to do that, you will need to use a subroutine that is provided in the QPSMR tools. In the QPSMR tools, which sits in Program Files x86, NetMR, QPSMR tools, you'll find a program called makeqdf.spss. Now you will need an SPSS license to use this. If you haven't got one, you won't be able to do this. But we can now open up a project in SPSS, open up this subroutine, and get the project into QDF. Now this into a QDF that can be used by the QPSMR Companion. And this is not a perfect solution always. You may get error messages and the project may look slightly different than it does in SPSS, so it's not just a good solution. There is for those of you who have an MRDCL license, there is another subroutine rather like this that gives you a lot more options at how you treat different question types in SPSS. And if we go to SPSS, we'll see there's some issues here, like some of these questions here could be a multi. So this question 2 here is a multi, and SPSS can't handle a multi response question in the same way that the QPSMR Companion can, so it splits it over 5 fields. Now there are some tools within the import into MRDCL that will handle that much better and give you some options so that you can choose what you do with that, because that could be a rating scale where you want 5 questions. In this particular case, we happen to know it's a multi-response question. So there's a few more tools to help you build a good file. But let's assume this is okay. We can open a script file here. We'll pick the makeqdf subroutine, SPS file, open it wider, and all we have to do now is click on the Run button here, or the Start button, and that will make a file in the same folder called QPSMR.qdf, and we get a confirmation message. If we go back to our folder here, you'll find we've got this project now in a QDF ready to use. So if we open up the test project that came from SPSS, we do get one error here. It's telling us there's no serial number, so we would have to do some work. The project's imported fairly cleanly. It's left Q2 as 5 questions rather than 1 question, so there would need to be a variable to pick up from that. Now the import to MRDCL will handle that as one variable for you, which is more convenient in MRDCL and actually would be more convenient in QPS. But we would need to set things like the serial number because it hasn't understood that the ID is a serial number. So we'd need to go into the project settings and tell it about the serial number. So it's not quite as smooth as importing from SSS always. You have to do a little bit of work sometimes just to tidy that up. But once you've done that, you should be able to use that data, produce tables and so on, and use the project within the QPSMR Companion in the same way as you could a project that you had started in the QPSMR Companion. For more details on exporting data, there's another video that follows this that will give you more control and information about how you export data. Thanks for watching the video.